5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's time to count down reality TV's most talked about moments with Amanda Bella. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bella Talks TV. This is Amanda Bella, and we're here for a return to form top 5 countdown of reality TV's most talked about moments of the week, which is my specialty. And it's just been weird. Like, I don't know if you guys have also been feeling this too. There's been like a little bit of like a slump, I think, ever since the Traitors ended. And we were in this over the winter and over the holidays in this like Housewives like menagerie because we were getting slammed. Like I think at one time there were 5 different Housewives cities on. Like it was Beverly Hills, New York City, Salt Lake City, OC, like all these shows were all on at the same time. And we were getting just like bombarded and it was like overload for a while. And then it kind of just like all stopped. Like all of the shows that had been filmed stocked up, and we're kind of looking towards this new generation of Bravo. I've noticed like literally even with the show Next Generation NYC, like they're finding, I think, new ways. Like they've really had to get like to the drawing board over at Bravo and figure out a plan to not only keep all of these OG players who are expensive, but draw a huge fan base at the network. The Teresas, the Tamaras, the whoever's, even like keeping Luann around. And a lot of these people, this is all for a reason. And even Kyle Richards, like we complain about Kyle, but these are kind of these staples, almost as recognizable as Andy at this point, just in the sense that like Bravo needs to have these recognizable parts of the network, kind of like with Bachelor Nation, how we always have the same host, or like with Love Island. It's like these kinds of things are important. These like feel like home, feel like our friends, feel like we know them parts of these reality TV worlds. And we have, I mean, at some point, like Andy will have to retire. Like it is, the entire network is just built has such a strong and specific like niche foundation. Like the Real Housewives and Andy are basically married and like in a marriage together and are life partners, and they're just trying to keep it going, like introducing new cities, introducing new cast members, doing reboots. They're doing their best over there. And there's a couple different things going on. We have that Next Gen NYC show coming out, which I'm really excited about. We're going to see Meredith Marks on there with Brooks. We're going to see Kandi on there with Riley. Kandi was a huge 15 season. Atlanta at one point had the highest ratings for the network. Like there was a time. But Kandi she's going to be like an EGOT winner too. Like she is an actual talent, and Bravo was really lucky to have her as a housewife as long as they did. And I'm looking forward to like seeing her on there. And then also Kim, hello, duh. Like Kim, to me, what are they doing over there? Like they should have had Kim on this network the entire time. She could have been making money to help pay for the divorce. We would have been able to see the divorce unfold. The cameras being there may have helped it not get as toxic as it did, because we know it got really bad. Like when the cameras went down over there, things got bad for the Biermans. So I'm looking forward to that show. Now we also have this show rumored out to come out, like a wife swap style show where wives from certain franchises, certain cities will switch to go to other cities. So I don't know if we have like a real name on this show yet, or if it's just like in production now. So finally we're hearing about it. But I think Angie K from Salt Lake City, I can't remember. Should I just look it up while I'm sitting here? Might as well. Let's see here. So wife swap style show. Let's see here. Bravo. I know some bloggers were talking about it. I mean, even IMDb, which is an interesting place to like get your reality TV news. Sometimes I wonder like who works and like who writes these articles. I mean, there's like Reddit posts and stuff about who it could like potentially be, but I can't remember who else was claimed to be a part of it. I know. Okay, it says names mentioned are Melissa Gorga, interesting. Emily Simpson from Orange County, also interesting. Dr. Wendy from Potomac, she would be fun. And Salt Lake City. Okay, yeah, JK. So I do kind of remember that now. I didn't remember Melissa Gorga, but fun. So I guess we're going to be getting like a show like this. And I think they're coming up with new concepts that they know are going to allow them to do like multiple seasons where they can just switch the players out and keep it going, where it has like some longevity. It gives some of these recognizable people from the network a chance to bring in some ratings. And at the end of the day, TV is created for advertisement. So that's all anybody cares about is selling ads and getting ratings to sell ads to make money. And that's why Scandal was so important, because they were getting huge ads. I mean, even breaking it down to the actual influencer, like not ads, yeah, ads pretty much, or the deals, the influencer deals that Ariana was getting after Scandal, the Glad trash bags, the Duracell batteries, the Bic razors, all kinds of things. But anyways, so that's all good for the ratings. I'm interested in all of these new shows. And another show that they just dropped, well, not new show, but new trailer that we got is for the Real Houses of Miami trailer. Now, you guys, to me, I'm just going to have to say it, the trailer looked like a dud. It was giving overproduced. Okay, one thing I do love about Miami, and I have been watching it since day one back in the day. Okay, I'm very attached to Lisa Hochstein. I'm very attached to Adriana. I'm very attached to even to Larsa, even though I like love to hate her. I'm interested to see the stuff between her and Marcus go down this season. Remember they had a long filming break. So I think that potentially just was not good for them because they missed the Larsa stuff. They missed the Todd and remember Todd and Alexia were like getting divorced and getting back together and getting divorced and out scene. And this was like all when they were not filming. So we're going to see some of that, but boo. They're not bringing back Dr. Nicole, which, okay, not that they're not bringing her back, but because they have the new girl, Stephanie, like, of course, Bravo's being messy over there. And they got Stephanie, who's Anthony's ex, who is, I think, remarried and doing just fine on her own. But they get Stephanie casted, and Dr. Nicole leaves the show because she's like, bitch, I'm not fucking like blowing my family up for a spot to be on The Real Housewives. Could not be me. Which I agree with. Dr. Nicole is a real one. Like she's one of my favorites. Like she's in my top like 20 maybe somewhere, but I really enjoy her. And she, again, real job, real family, real stakes, like high stakes, like TV. You only really like do this if you want to, I don't know, get divorced. She's trying to get married still. So we have that trailer that came out. Now, what really disappoints me the most is the Adriana Julia fighting of it all. I love them both. I know Adriana is so annoying, but again, I have an emotional attachment to her from back in the day. She encompasses everything that Real Housewives is about to me. She is a little self-producing, but she is always keeping the storyline moving, always spilling tea, always throwing people under the bus, and always apologizing, which is the most important part. Coming to the reunion, here's my apology. So she knows how to play Housewives. I cannot hate on Adriana. I just cannot. Now, Julia, I love Martina. I love her and Martina both. We're going to see into them like adopting and who I think they adopted boy twins or something maybe. So we're gonna see more into that. But like I said, again, that's like pretty much it, you guys. The only drama now that we're over Lisa and Lenny, which makes me so sad because that I was living for the Lisa and Lenny of it all. That was such good drama. Such good drama. Like, do you remember the day I was like freaking out? I think I even like went live the day that Lenny and the new girl got to, like did their little PR stunt or whatever happened that weekend where she cheated, took the ring off. Like they sold the ring. I was talking about how she was like a thief, a jewel thief. Oh my gosh, but they're back together now. Looks like Larsa's saying that Jody, Lisa's new boo, is just a clout chaser, which I kind of believe. I'm also like, I don't know. I don't really like him that much, but if he is good for Lisa and treats her good and she's happy, that's really all that matters. But they're talking a lot about how they're like he's controlling her finances, I think, and like also controlling all of her businesses and like getting in on all of her, like when she gets offered something, he like gets in on it. It's giving kind of like Aaron and Denise, like Denise Richards, where he's like simping for Lisa a little too hard, I think. And everyone's like getting a little bit of an ick from him, but whatever. If she's happy. Okay, so I think that was pretty much it. Just kind of like top of the show stuff. I am curious, like what other Housewives cities, like we heard Rhode Island. I'm always hearing they're filming in Nashville. Now, one thing I was thinking about, if you guys listen to my Vanderpump Rules or my Vanderpump Villa episode that I did, a couple days ago. I talked about how they're creating these like universes. Like there's the Bravo sphere, obviously, but then now they're having like the Hulu reality stars, and there's always been like the 90 Day Fiance world, and this is like there's these like worlds, and they're starting to become like a little bit more prominent. They've been around longer. There's these people that have been on TV for like decades at this point. Teen Mom, which we're going to talk about a little bit today, like stuff like that. There's just these like ecosystems, and I'm just curious if any of these shows, when people are like, oh, I saw them filming a new Housewives show, or they hear there's like a Housewives show like in production, or there's casting going on. I think everyone's assuming it's for Housewives, but I think that these other Netflix, whatever, Hulu, any of these places, Peacock, or no, Peacock is Bravo, but I'm trying to think what other apps there are that get, maybe even HBO. I mean, HBO has even gotten their hands into reality TV. If you guys watched House of Ho, like random deep cut, I love that show. So there's a couple good reality shows on Max as well. They had Legendary, RIP to Legendary on Max. One of my favorite competition shows, the ballroom dancing competition show with Law Roach and Megan Thee Stallion. God, that show was so good. Okay, so anyways, I just think like some of these other cameras, when they hear these rumors, it could be other networks that are doing shows also. And I'm thinking they could come out with something called like the Moms or Ex-Wives or First Wives Club. Like who knows what they could be filming in any of these other, it doesn't have to be Housewives. Nothing has been confirmed by Bravo. Like I don't believe anything until it really comes out of Andy's mouth. So, okay, so let's get into the show for real now. We'll start with my OMG, my LOL of the week. Again, if this is your first time here, every one of my typical shows, unless I'm doing like a one-off bonus episode, my top 5 countdowns, top 5 reality TV's most talked about moments. I kind of like scour a few different places, just so you guys know where I get my news. Of course, Instagram and TikTok. But page 6, TV, LDT.com, realityblurb.com. I don't really do all pop culture. I really try to stick just to TV on this show. So sometimes I talk about other pop culture stuff on my Instagram. So make sure you're following me at Bella Talks TV. I think that's pretty much it for like top of the show stuff. Just make sure you guys like leave a review and promote the show if you can. I know some of you guys really do that, and you're so like means the world to me. Like when I get a DM notification that somebody like tags me about the podcast, like that is truly the weight of my heart. So I'm gonna be again. Okay, yeah. Now that I got my soundboard going, I have to really remember like to use it. I really have to remember to use it because it's so good. And if you guys didn't listen to again my Vanderpump Villa episode, I have the soundboard now, so you have to go listen to it there. Bravo, bravo, bravo. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's start with every episode to top 5 countdown. I also do LOL, OMG of the week. So a couple moments that stood out. So let's start with my LOL of the week, which is pretty much the entire, Luann specifically and her performance, but the entire premiere of Love Hotel that happened on Bravo the other night, on Tuesday night, I believe. It's a Tuesday night show. It comes on Sunday night. No, it's a Sunday night show that comes on after Atlanta Housewives. So Atlanta Housewives is at 8, and then Love Hotel will be at 9, which I'm kind of loving. It's actually a really good Sunday night show. So we have Ashley Darby, Luann, Countess Luann, needs no introduction, my queen and mother. Then we have Shannon, who you guys know I'm not like the biggest fan of, but she is being very Shannon-y in this premiere. So I'm kind of hate watching her a little bit. And then we have Giselle. She is just like, I don't even know if she can really be with anybody. She is such an entity on her own, but it's fun. She's there to kind of like almost like host. I swear she's like almost like a host. Just the way that she keeps all her one-liners and how she's very quick and how she keeps the conversations moving and how aware she is of the cameras. And I know Giselle's been called out for this before for like self-producing, especially on Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip when they went to Thailand. She was always coming up with like crazy scenarios and doing things and just doing things like for the plot. And I see that she's kind of like this, which is she's just very calculated and she is playing kind of like a character all the time. So I really do wonder like who vulnerable real Giselle is. But the whole Jason Cameron thing, like, do you guys ever think about the fact that Jason and Giselle, I'm assuming, yes, they have had sexual relations. He's also slept with Lindsay and Lindsay got pregnant. Now, this is one of my most sinister conspiracy theories, and you guys are just gonna have to forgive me and know, like, who you're dealing with here because I'm unwell and I'm ill. So one of my biggest conspiracy theories is that, I mean, I really shouldn't even say this. I might have to cut this out later. But Lindsay, the way that so she talks about having the miscarriage with Jason. Okay, trigger fucking warning. All right, you guys, you might not even want to listen to this if you're very sensitive to the topic of miscarriage or abortion or anything. This is not A, the show for you, but B, I'm not the person for you probably. Very pro-choice over here. So again, no judgment with this. But Lindsay got pregnant by Jason, okay? And we didn't know about this right away. She got pregnant, and then she says that she, quote, found out she was pregnant, and by the next day she was having a miscarriage. So I'm not saying that this cannot happen. I'm definitely not calling Lindsay a liar. I just want to produce an alternate theory on this because wow, what a coincidence to be the day within 24 hours of you finding out you were pregnant, you were having a miscarriage. Again, I am not saying that's not possible. I've never had a miscarriage. I've actually never been pregnant. So just to let everybody know, I have literally no fucking idea what I'm talking about. But there's just something in my gut. It's literally just an intuitive feeling that Lindsay may not have had a miscarriage. And maybe she exercised her right as an American woman, which she's totally entitled to, that I believe in, to maybe voluntarily, not to have Jason's child. Because the way that she handled the situation, just by saying, to me, it was giving okay, I found out I was pregnant, and by the next day, it was get it, we're done here. There's just the timing of it was sus. The second part that I want to evidence B, point B of my evidence is that the way she told Carl, now again, remember, her and Carl were best friends. I mourn the Carlito, Lindsay, Hub House, Rad House days. I really do. I love them, not as a couple, but I love them as friends. And she decides very calculated and very strategically to announce that she had lost her child that she was ever pregnant and that she lost her child with Jason. And she decides to tell Carl on camera. No one has heard the story. Carl, his jaw hits the floor, they're best friends. So for him to not even know that she went through this, it's just not Carl, I think especially too, again, I don't want to judge a woman's struggle. So stay with me here. I'm almost done. But I think it was giving she did kind of a private struggle with maybe having a little shame spiral, private struggle with maybe having a schmushmortion. Because it seems like she didn't even really have time to process it because by the next day she was losing it, or by the next day it was over. I mean, I feel bad for speculating about this, you guys, but there's just something in my gut that tells me that, yeah, because she didn't even tell anybody else. You didn't even wake up the next morning and be like, oh my God, I'm pregnant. I need to call my dad. I need to, who is her best friend that she would call? I mean, I think Carl at the time and Danielle. Carl and Danielle, I mean, I don't know who her other real best friends are, off camera. She didn't really have friends. She was not friends with the girls yet in the house. They all were still at war back in these days, winter house days. So I'm really unsure, who she would actually tell. So I think it would be Carl. So if she never even told Carl about any of this going on, I just don't know, you guys. There's just something fishy about it. That's all I'm going to say. Now, she also never shed a tear. I mean, she is Lindsay, but she never shed a tear. She never showed any emotion. She didn't even have inflection in her voice when she was telling the story. She was like, yeah, this is what happened. It was crazy. So there's just something there. And again, no judgment. I personally too, but the whole point I'm trying to make about this is Giselle and Jason had a relationship too. I think that's so crazy. And the fact that Lindsay too wasn't trauma bonded with Jason, she was mad at Jason, I guess, for them both going to the press, but Lindsay did as well. Lindsay totally spun a whole thing in the press and had a whole narrative that she was pushing. And Jason was actually coming forward being I didn't even know that she was pregnant. What the fuck? So how was I supposed to react or do things differently? I didn't even have a chance. I didn't have a say. Not saying that he should, but I just think the whole situation, she should have no shame. She should have been truthful about it, but just the whole thing is weird. So anyways, let's move on. Anyways, LOL of the week, Love Hotel. Now, Countess Luann is so funny on this show. She is just running circles around these guys. At one point, she tells guys she'll be right back, and she leaves and totally goes and starts a whole other conversation on the other side of the beach and just lets them sit there. She is giving the other girls advice. She's snatching men. I just think that this season is going to be really fun to watch. Shannon is insane. Like there's one point where there's a guy there that like surfs, and apparently Shannon maybe has surfboards with the girls surf or something like that. And they're like, "Oh, Shannon, like you like live by the beach and you have surfboards." And she's like, "Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't." Like just the way that she reacts is very like she gets really shy and anxious and like funny about stuff. Like I think she'll just be funny to watch in general. I can't help but think every time Joel Kim Booster comes on the screen though, like thinking about how he has this crash out about Shannon at the end of the season. Because I can totally see her like being so snarky to everybody behind when the cameras go down at night. So yeah, we'll have to see. Ashley Darby, at first I didn't really like want her to be there because she was barely divorced. She had been, I think, officially divorced from Michael for like a week when she left to go film. She might have still not even been technically divorced. What came first? Filming the Potomac reunion or filming Love Hotel? I think Love Hotel came first. So she was not divorced when she was there. So I think it's kind of annoying. Again, Bravo created this new like structure of this show so that they can continue to do other seasons with other people from Bravo that are single and continue to do this like Love Hotel. Next season there'll be 4 new wives / single people on the network. I'm into it. So yeah, that's my LOL of the week. Again, go watch Earl the Pearl. It's kind of giving Golden Bachelor vibes over there, just the nicknames and the shenanigans that are happening. I'm into it. I'm liking it so far. So we'll move on to my OMG moment of the week now. And it is a show that I don't talk about too often on this program on Bella Talks TV. And it is a Teen Mom OMG. And it was kind of a split. Like I have a couple different things. I just have been catching up. I did 2 big binges of Teen Mom, the next chapter, Teen Mom OG, whatever they call it these days. And there's been a couple different things going on this season that have been, I think, like we're not talking enough as a society about them. So we'll just run through a couple different OMG moments. But my number one OMG moment so far that's made my jaw drop, that has been literally like, holy shit, has been Mackenzie officially announcing that her and Casanio are pregnant with twins. Now they go through their IVF journey. She is diabetic. She has 3 previous kids with her ex Josh, who is a doozy if you're a Teen Mom watcher. Then she meets this Jamaican guy, Casanio, after she gets divorced. Well, actually, she met him when she was still married to Josh, but they were separated. And then she finally gets officially divorced. And in this most recent episode, they actually had a whole like thing where Mackenzie goes to see a lawyer about something, and they tell her that she actually was not officially divorced from Josh. And it's like a false alarm, but they tell her, like the paperwork was never filed. It's not coming up like in the system. And she panics that she's still married to Josh, but she's not. It ended up being like an error in the system or whatever. So she's divorced and she's officially pregnant with Casanio. Now they had IVF because they were trying naturally for a long time. They couldn't because of her diabetes. They did IVF. They had a lot of problems. They had to have like certain numbers for her to be able to even do the implantation of the embryos. But they finally, like after episode and episode, she got done with that. Got the babies inserted. They inserted 2 because they knew that there was only a chance, like this is basically now or never, and they're never going to be able to do IVF again. And Casanio doesn't have any kids, never been married before. So they implant both of them and she gets pregnant with both of them. So she gets pregnant with twins. And in the most recent episode, it's so sweet, like them finding out that they're going to be having the baby, and they go and they tell, now remember Mackenzie's mom died of cancer, which is like one of the saddest, oh my gosh, I cried buckets over that funeral. But they really keep in touch with Mackenzie's dad. And there was a huge moment. I posted this to my Instagram earlier this season when I was doing like my first section of binges, like the first 6 episodes, and then I watched the last 6 episodes a couple days ago. There was a part where Mackenzie's dad shot himself with a bow and arrow on accident and like was covered in blood, and their house was covered in blood. That was an OMG moment. Then let's just pop up over quickly to, we'll actually go into my second runner-up for the OMG moment of the season, which is Ryan. Ryan in fucking general. Now, Ryan, meth addict, nodding off on his wedding day, deadbeat dad, in and out of prison, falling asleep behind the wheel. Ryan has been sober for almost 2 years. He asks Amanda, who is also an ex-addict who's pregnant with his next child, which now this will be his 3rd baby mama. Like it'll be Macy. Then he married Mackenzie, his second wife, not the other Mackenzie, but Mackenzie. And now he's with Amanda, who, yeah, Amanda's a little bit of a character, but she gets along really well with Macy. And just seeing how this entire family has evolved. But why am I like sexually attracted to Ryan? Like, I mean, low key, he's always been hot, but now that he's sober and he's all like silver foxed out, when he was playing golf with Taylor, like that whole Taylor and Ryan going to golf together, what 2 seasons ago, they were literally about to kill each other. Like Ryan was like about to go to prison for trying to murder Taylor. Actually, Jen and Larry, Ryan's parents, they were way more mad at Taylor. But yeah, they're all like one big happy family now. And I'm so happy Bentley gets to like see his parents getting along, see his dad being sober, like good things going on there. Now, the opposite is going on in Indiana, in the House of Horrors at the Portwood residence, because Amber hasn't seen Leah in a year. Leah's filing now to have Christina, her stepmom, become her full legal guardian. I mean, she's 16, so technically she doesn't even like need a guardian. I think she could just emancipate herself, but she wants Christina to be her mom. Amber finds out about this. She's not happy, obviously. It's Leah's 16th birthday. She's not allowed to see her. Amber's just down bad. Ever since Gary left her and like basically was a missing person, her second Gary 2.0, the Asian Gary, she's never been the same again. I mean, she wasn't really like doing good before that, but she at least was around, and she's doing the opposite of what Ryan is doing. Like Ryan got his shit together. Ryan got sober. Ryan made an effort. Ryan apologized to Bentley. Ryan has done so much to repair his family. And Amber's just like, whatever, like she doesn't get it. And she just is, I mean, I know it's her mental illnesses, but she gets unable to see outside of herself. It's very sad. We also have the drama going on with Kate and Tyler and Brandon and Teresa, who are Carly's adoptive parents, and then blocking her. They refusing gifts from Caitlin and Tyler. Caitlin and Tyler have just like, but for 16 years now, been riding the fucking wave of the Caitlin adoption story. And like, I get it. MTV pays them to share their story. And like, they've really, really been able to make like a entire life out of this. Like, this is why MTV is broke, because they are paying these people probably like, they must be getting like, I don't know. What do you guys think? 20 grand, 30 grand an episode? They filmed for like a year to make one season. So I don't know. There's a couple, OMG moments going over, but mainly Mackenzie with the twins. I loved the announcement on the Drew Barrymore show. That was really sweet. And just watching them finding out that they were pregnant in these most recent episodes. Casanio just seems like a natural. Like, he seems like a really funny, good guy. I was skeptical of him in the beginning. And like, I was like, what does this guy need? Like a green card? Like, but to be a stepdad to those 3 kids, especially Bronx. I mean, Gannon is a handful too, and little Jaxie. But Bronx, we know, he like probably flings poop. He's like Rain. He's like Mason, or not Mason, Scott Disick's kid Rain, who I think is Justin Bieber's kid. There are so many secrets that are in these families that will go till the end of time. I believe Justin Bieber is his father, is Rain's father. I think that could be why he's like crashing out, because he's like old enough to know now. Like, holy shit, like Courtney probably refuses to do a paternity test, but Justin like knows. And so he probably is just living with the fact that he can't do anything about it. Like, Chris has probably like threatened his life. Corey used to be his fucking handler. Corey Gamble. Corey probably told Justin, like, bitch, I will put you in prison with Diddy if you ever say that you are Justin or Rain's father. So many things. The hairdresser. I mean, it all started with the fact that Khloe is 100% not Robert Kardashian's daughter. Like, from baby pictures to now, she looks nothing like those sisters. And Rob was photoshopped potentially into those Easter pictures. Like, do you guys think that was really him? Okay, anyways, moving on. Let's just go right into my top 5 countdown, because I think it was a slow week and I had a hard time. I was like scrounging for a top 5. Like, I have a couple points to make, but it's weird. Like, it's a weird time right now in reality TV. So things are slow. It's just, I don't know what it is, if it's just the shows that are airing, or if people have just gotten better at like their PR offline. Like, we have not had as many scandals and stuff. So we'll kind of see as we touch base. So I haven't got to talk about the Real Housewives of Atlanta very much. So that's my number 5 most talked about moment of the week. There's still a lot of chit chat online about the show in general. There haven't been like huge viral moments since Kenya and the poster board. I mean, I'm happy we're not getting a ton of insane scandalous moments. Okay, so let's just talk briefly about this season, because there's a few things going on that I guess are worth mentioning and people are talking about. So I would think the number 1 most talked about moment, or the number 5 most talked about moment of the week is Atlanta Housewives. But the number 1 most talked about kind of moment going within these women is kind of circulating around Portia, Dennis, and Drew. This little love triangle is kind of serving for like the main drama now with Kenya out. I'm sure that producers had to really scramble and kind of like piece together some things after this, especially because they, we're watching the fallout and the aftermath of Brit with the gun and the pistol and the whips. I mean, who really knows what her true intention was? I don't get vibes from her that she is like truly thugalicious like that, or she would be doing that. But I understand Kenya. Like Kenya, I mean, she give her an inch. She's taken like 4,000 miles. So she's driven all the way to Italy and back at this point. She really she really blew that up and really shot herself in the foot with that. So they're kind of scrambling now for these pieces. And we've got the whole Drew situation. Drew coming on this cast trip. Everyone's complaining like, oh, this is so unnatural. This is so whatever. Too fucking bad. Everyone gets to go on the cast trips. I think that that's just a rule of Housewives. Like, no matter how awkward, no matter how whatever, like Portia from the beginning should have went to Drew and been like, girl, I know we're not getting along right now. And whatever's going on with you and my baby daddy, like, we're going to have to really fucking sort this out. You're coming on the cast trip and we'll talk about it then. She should have done that. And they should have had like some kind of like sit down or whatever on the cast trip. I don't know if Portia's looking at it for storyline because like she said, she's very aware of the fact that her and Simon, she can't talk about that. She can't film in the house. She can't really do anything having to do with that. So she's got her hands tied with cease and desist, literally. And I think she's also looking like, okay, I really need to like blow up this thing going on with Drew because otherwise I don't really have like a lot of a storyline either. So it's kind of giving to me like I'm loving that they brought Portia back as this like OG hero return, and she's totally getting a flop at it. And I kind of love that, or like a slightly villain edit. Like they didn't just bring her back Kyle Richards style and like kiss her ass and like give her this amazing edit and make her seem like she's the queen of the world. Like Portia's struggling. And on this birthday trip, it's interesting. Like I think it's fun. I think it's a fun theme. I've actually never been to Nashville, but I've been more interested in going kind of recently just for the culture of it, just to say I've gone. It's like once you've lived certain years of life on this earth and lived in the United States, I've been a lot of places, almost everywhere at this point. So I'm running out of places. I'm like, you know what? Let me go check out Nashville. But they look like they have like a fun time on this party. I'm actually a fan of Drew. I know I'm like the only person in the world. Something about the Chicago in her and her delusion. And I think that she actually is really talented dancer. Step Up. She was in the Sean Paul music video. She just, I don't know, all these movies that she does. She's, I think, been in maybe some plays too. Like she just, to me, I like really like Drew. I don't know what it is about her. The Ralph of it all. I like feel for her. She seems like a good mom. She's just a little crazy, again, a little overproduced, but I don't get like toxic vibes from her. I think that she's just like kind of goofy and just the way that she talks. Like she almost is like a mini like draw or something to me. I don't know. She kind of stays calm. You never really see her like screaming and yelling. I don't know. Kind of into Drew. Now, with that being said, same with Angela Oakley. I fucking love her. She's also from Chicago. Like these Chicago girlies that are representing on Atlanta. Like I'm just into them. I'm Team Chicago. Shamia, I think she's been a great addition. She's kind of been the anchor for the show, but she again plays peacemaker with a lot of people, and I thought it was cute. She brought the olive. She can apologize. Like we're all here. Housewives again is always about conflict and resolution. So you've got to be able to, have resolution with things. Otherwise, there's just like no place for you. So yeah, I don't know. Atlanta's like firing on all cylinders for me. It's just a good, easy watch. I learned about what a second screen show is, which is like a show you can watch on your phone, which is typically something I don't do. I usually have to, when I'm watching TV, like I take my fucking TV seriously. Like, I'm not on my phone. I'm not watching something. I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not scrolling. I'm just not. I don't know. I'm watching my show. I'm paying attention. It is a little bit of a second screen show for me. Like I can scroll a little bit and kind of like do some things, cook or whatever when I'm watching the show. All right. Anyways, number 5 most talked about moment. Let's move right into number 4, Summer House. Kind of the same thing going on there too. Like we've had a few anchors of drama, but overall, Summer House is like the number 4 most talked about show going on right now. When I go online, I'm seeing a lot of Paige, I'm seeing a lot of Jesse, I'm seeing a lot of Lexi, so let's talk about it. Now, I'm really happy that Lexi in this most recent episode that just premiered last night, she finally stands up to Jesse in front of the whole group. She calls him out for talking shit behind her back and making her seem crazy and telling everybody basically like to think that she's weird and to not like her, which is going to make them not want her to come back next season, make her not be able to form real friendships with the girls. Like, yeah, Jesse's being a fucking douche. And I think that she was totally right to call him out in that way. I think that he has this creepy thing about him, Jesse, where he goes into this like lower register where it's his like, he has two modes. Like he's this fun, goofy, singing, flirty Jesse. And then he has his tail between his legs, Jesse, where he gets like slow and he kind of talks down and like looks down to the ground and doesn't really make eye contact. That's like the Jesse that we're getting this week. Like he really is in the doghouse. And it's not a good look on him. Like, I'm going to need him to just figure out how to take accountability. That way, he doesn't have to like sulk when he gets called out. It could actually be a path where he just is like, damn, I didn't know I was coming off like that. Like, I'm embarrassed for myself and I apologize for hurting you. Like, I don't want to do that. I have feelings for you. Like, there's so many other things he could have said, but instead he'll just be like, okay, if you feel like that, all right, if you took it that way. Like, he just kind of gets into that little like, ugh. And West gets like that too, when Sierra yells at him, where he just shuts down and he just is like, okay. Like, both of them act like that. And I'm going to need you to engage, sirs. You're on reality TV. And I'm going to need you to fight back a little bit and cause more drama. These girls are just yelling into voids. So I'm not loving that. I'm loving that we are getting like the full circle. Looks like by the time we get like the reunion just filmed last week and all the guys went out afterwards and Emerald wasn't there, which Emerald said that he was dismissed early, which makes me think he only filmed at the reunion for like an hour, which is so annoying because Emerald was in more drama and involved in more storyline this season, I think, than Lindsay. I think than Gabby for fucking sure. We know Bailey, what happened there. And Amanda, absolutely. Amanda got the first chair. Now, I was speculating that it was because she was pregnant and she was going to have like some kind of pregnancy announcement. But because it's been over a week now, I think that would have been leaked from like Madison, when she said that she was pregnant at the Southern Charm reunion, like that day she did the clear blue. It was like, once you say it at the reunion, it's going to get leaked. So the fact that we haven't heard yet, I guess she's not pregnant, which I know it's so fucked up for me to say because she was just saying last night's episode, she might not want maybe not even want to have kids, which is leaning towards she might want to get divorced then. I don't think she doesn't want to not have kids. I just don't believe that. I think she's realizing she might not want to have kids with Kyle and that she's not going to get any support when she's like, oh, I don't think I can like take care of something all by myself. Yeah, it's because she's not going to get any help from Kyle. He's a workaholic. Like, I'm married to one too. I know what it's like to be married to an entrepreneur. They don't care about anything else. You are going to be like, they're not even going to hear the baby crying because they're going to be like on a call for business. Like, you're going to be the one who's the primary care. And I think Kyle like forcing her to basically not just be a stay-at-home wife this whole time, to be involved at Loverboy, to, you're not just going to like stay home and be a mom, like you're going to be basically contributing. Like, I think it's just changed their relationship, and like they have a coworker relationship now. The summer house, Loverboy, it's just, that's what it's giving. Like, when he was saying on the plane back from Italy that Amanda like grabbed his hand and he was like over the moon about it and was getting some like affection. I mean, I don't know. To each their own. I've been married for a year now. Like, physical touch isn't even my love language. I'm an acts of service girly. I'm a words of affirmation girly. So I don't need physical touch like that, but like I'm constantly touching him, kissing him. It's like, I don't know. Like, you should want to be like that with your husband. They're weird. So I'm getting a little bit over my Paige burnout. Now, of course, I have to give props to Giggly Squad. They did not have the Dagger of Death on their New York Times bestseller list. They only reached number 2, which I know that's like the smallest hater. I'm a hater. I fucking say it. I admit it all the time. I'm a little bit of a hater. I was a little bit of a hater in the sense that I just was kind of hoping they were going to not make the list. But the fact that they just didn't get to number one, this is again the true hater in me. They're not able to say number one best time seller because they've been riding the fucking wave of selling out Radio City. If I hear one more time, sold out Radio City twice, like I know that they're not saying it, but every time they go on a show or they do something, everyone else like they introduce them as people that have like achieved that, and I'm over it. Like, great, good job. I'm not trying to like take that away from them. It's just like I was really getting a lot of burnout. Now, I heard the audiobook, which is free with my Spotify premium account, and I am considering listening to How to Giggle just to report back to you guys and tell you like what's going on with it, if I learn anything. But it's only 4 hours. It's only a 4-hour listen. I'm like, is this like first grade reading level? I'm not 100% sure with the How to Giggle of it all yet, but I will report back on that. So yeah, besides that, over in Summer House, not a lot going on. We're seeing Carl get back out there. Love to see it. We're seeing Lindsay getting closer to giving birth. Danielle shows up, which I loved for a second, for her to go to this gynecology appointment with her. Sierra, Carl admits that he has this crush on Sierra. I think he was just shooting his shot because if there are clips, go back, rewind the tape in like season 4, season 5, where Sierra admits to having a crush on Carl. So like maybe he just did a rewatch. Maybe he just was doing like a Summer House rewatch and he was like, wait, is Sierra like into me? Like maybe I should shoot my shot. So I don't think anything's going to happen there. Like Sierra says, like she's like, I'm thinking about not even dating white guys anymore, which I hate to tell you, girl, like it does not matter what color the man is. They're all trash. But I want her to, stop dating reality TV men and maybe get out of men who are in the business and see who else I can date, because professional athletes, not much better, sister. Musicians, good fucking luck with that. So you're better off finding a normie. Go find a normie. So, okay, let's get quickly into my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, which is over at the Valley. And we still have lots of people talking about Jax. Is Jax sober? Brittany's doing all her press. I don't know if he is sober, if he's not. Now, Jax has done his fair amount of press as well on podcasts, saying that he's being drug tested every Monday. So what, all this back and forth, is Jax sober or not? Like, he is sober, right? Is he faking drug tests? Is that what Brittany is saying? Is Brittany just trying to say, kind of like when Lindsay was like, oh, Carl's not really sober because he was smoking weed? So is Jax Callie sober? And is that what she means when she's like, oh, if he even is sober? Because she was just on Watch What Happens Live again. This is like the 3rd or 4th time now I've heard her say, like, if Jax is actually sober. So is he not sober? I don't know. What is the fucking truth? What is the truth? I need to know. So I'm just realizing now, I'm looking over at my soundboard. I haven't used it once. Like, I've spent so much time making this soundboard, you guys, but I have to get in better into just like seeing it over there and remembering. Okay, so what else is going on in the Valley? So obviously the Jax stuff is the number 1 most talked about moments. Like, Jax is the driving force of a lot of the drama going on over there. He checks himself into rehab. We know that it was basically court ordered, like Bravo court ordered. A judge, Andy, was like, bitch, you're going to rehab, or you're going to lose your job. We're like not going to film with you anymore. So he goes, it's $30,000. It's $1,000 a day. He pays for 30 days. He ends up staying like, I think 12 to 14 days, something like that. Not quite even 15 days, which is really sad. Now, Jax has recently, been in the news talking about how sobriety is like the hardest drug he's ever taken, hardest substance he's ever had, all this stuff. So he's maintaining that he is sober, that he is getting help, and that he's on a path to bettering himself. I'm very interested, and I cannot wait for Jax's Watch What Happens Live appearance, because he hasn't been on there in a while. Like, Brittany's been on a few times, but Jax hasn't been on, I guess, since last season. I like barely even remember him being on last season. So we're going to have to wait and see what Jax's like current status is, because I'm just very confused. He went back to rehab a second time, which he says like really did the trick, but I'm just curious, like, what is the truth? I really want to be rooting for him, but I cannot tell if he's like actually sober or not, and if I'm just being like bamboozled by it all. Now, Brittany, again, she's no angel sweetheart. I have a really hard time rooting for her. I think she secretly just really wants to be back together with him, and snap of a finger if he were to be sober and actually, like, I don't know. The problem is that Brittany can't change the way that she looks. This is going to sound really harsh. And Jax going against her for her looks and attacking her for her appearance, I think that that's something as a woman, like, you truly cannot come back from. So I think that, unfortunately, that is the damage that has been done that cannot be undone, because she's taken him back for cheating. She's taken him back for physical abuse. She's taken him back for some substances. I think it was the truly, like, her not feeling sexy, not her needing to get her sparkle back, him not doing the date nights, them not having like a sexual relationship. All of that stuff is really what ruined the marriage. Jax isn't dating anybody. Okay, let's put it this way. Until their actual divorce is finalized, I've got my eye on them. I think that there's a chance they could get back together. Now, just the opposite of that is Michelle and Jesse. They filed. They contested to nothing. They have their own custody. I think that they are just like, we're trying to do this on our own. Michelle, again, very unlikable. Something about this show that I like love is how unlikable the women are. Janet, no, it's a no for me. Brittany, I can't stand Brittany. I just do not like her. Nia, there's something very dark-sided about Nia. Her wanting to have another kid, her being with Danny. Danny's grabbing asses in this latest episode he's Jasmine and Melissa, the two lesbians, and Danny's grabbing asses, telling them to call him daddy and go get him drinks. Okay, there's drama going on. Like there is definitely some stuff behind the scenes. Now, again, Danny's also from Michigan, went to high school with my ex. And so is Jax, and so is Kristen. They're all from Michigan. So there is definitely this like tight Michigan gang. Now, Jesse and Jax are friends from like a million years ago, and they all lived in Miami together. I forget that Jesse also dated Anna Nicole Smith. Jesse is an enigma wrapped in a riddle. What is that Erica Jane like tagline? There's something about Jesse that like I can't quit him. I think that he's also unlikable and kind of a douche, but I don't know. There's all of these people on this show like are just so intriguing. Now, Kristen and Luke, it's funny. I think Jack says in his confessionals and like the trailer that they never expected Luke and Kristen to be the most stable out of all of the couples, but I really think that they are sweet. Luke, he has an interesting personality. It is strong. Like he has a point of view. And he is very salt of the earth, but I'm somewhat liking his presence because I think Kristen is a better person when she's in a relationship, and he is providing like a foundation for her to be a really good part of this show. Like Kristen's really getting her groove back. She's everywhere. People are obsessed with her. She gave the iconic green revenge dress to the clubhouse, and Andy was so happy. I just think that she's like on top of the world right now. She's not even became a mom yet. She has like, I think another month left. So I'm just happy for Kristen. I'm really liking the Valley. I'm really enjoying watching. I think that they should get Stassi back on there. I do, because I think that if we really could get Stassi back, which I know she's like dialed in over on Hulu now and doing her show there, but I think that it would really, really for the ratings and just the nostalgia and getting everybody back together, and they all have the kids, and Stassi has a lot of drama with Beau still. So I think that they should kind of bring them onto the show. I do. Brittany and Stassi have drama. That would be good to see. I love that Stassi and Brittany have drama. I also love that, like, I think Lala and Stassi, I think everybody's just had like their wires crossed at some point. I love that friend group. We need to watch them 24/7. They need like another spinoff. We need like a Valley spinoff now. Okay, so yeah, that was my number 3 most talked about moment of the week, the Valley, and just all the drama going on there. Specifically, I think just, again, like the Michelle and the hooker stuff. I think it's funny that it wasn't actually, this is again my conspiracy theory, my tinfoil hat is on, that actually was true. I think Jesse really did say that with his chest in the group chat. I think he did hear that. I think that he was saying that. I think Danny repeating it on camera was not part of the plan, and Jesse panicked, knowing, okay, this is actually the mother of my children, and this is something I did not want to actually get onto the show. I'm going to backtrack, and I'm going to say, like, I just said that it was a rumor, and I wanted just to see like who would repeat it. So it's giving to me like chess, like Bobby Fischer chess level, like Capture the Queen. This was a really good reality TV move for him to come up on his feet with something like, no, that's totally like, yeah, you totally fell into my trap. It's somewhat believable, but I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I think that was like a real rumor. I think that the way that she reacted to it, like if it was total nonsense, she would be laughing. She burst out in tears. She's freaking out in Dave and Buster's. There could be a kernel of truth, something in there. So yeah, that was my number 3 most talked about moment. Moving on to my number 2, we're talking about Dorit's divorce, because she finally filed against PK Pringles, Mr. Pringles, PK Kemsley. She has filed for divorce officially, and we're so happy she made it over that 10-year mark. I don't know what kind of alimony or child support she's going to be getting from PK, but she hopefully will be entitled to something. And I'm praying that PK is not going to get any alimony from her. I don't think she's getting that much an episode. I'm curious what she does get paid for the Beverly Hills Housewives, but she's not really doing like a ton of other endorsements endorsement deals. I see her like, doing an ad here or there, but she's not out here influencing. She doesn't have an acting job. She doesn't have a clothing line. She doesn't have accessories that she sells. I'm not really sure like what her line of income is other than the show. So this is going to be an interesting divorce. I'm sure it's going to get pretty messy because the other day PK was seen and photographed with this girl that looks exactly like Dorit, like 5 years ago, like or 2017 Dorit. And her name is Shayna Hall, and apparently she's part of the Amazing Race. And I don't know if she's English. I have to find out if this chick has an accent, but they were seen kissing and making out, and that was the day Dorit was like, okay, I've had a fucking enough. And I wonder if PK and Kyle were texting. Like, did Kyle text PK and say, like, here's my guy, here's who I call when I really want to get my shit in the press, like have them meet you, come out, take a smooch, it will be in the press the next day. Like maybe he's trying to get Dorit to file. Maybe there's been like a smoke out going on. Okay, so yeah, I can't talk too much about the Dorit divorce because I'm actually running a little bit quick on time here. I have to leave in like 5 minutes to go help watch my niece for a minute. But let's just talk briefly about my number one most talked about moment of the week, which is the Vanderpump Villa drama, which I talked about an entire episode. So if you have not listened to my last episode, I break down all of the drama. But specifically, we have to talk here on the main feed about Vanderpump Villa drama with Mom Talk. Now, this has been going around for a while. What really happened when cameras went down at the castle? Now, all signs were pointing that something happened with Demi, and Marciano is just like head over heels about Demi, and he's like feeling some type of way about her, especially because she has the married woman effect. I know that this is like a real thing, and guys will think like, I mean, girls kind of think this too, so I guess it's not gender specific, but guys and girls will think like, hey, I think everything is, or I think everybody good is taken. Right? Like all the good ones are taken. So when you meet someone married, a guy that's married or a girl that's married, you're like, wow, this must be like a really good guy because they're actually in a successful relationship. They're able to commit, like they have the qualities or whatever. And that is like a stigma that goes on with marriage and not being married, like reverse effect. If you're not married, people think there's something wrong with you. So there's like a whole thing with that. But the Mom Talk stuff, something definitely went down. Something definitely went down. No, I don't think anything actually happened with Demi and Marciano in the castle, except for the fact that it does show that he was like sniffing her hair, giving her maybe some unwanted hugs, some lingering hugs and stuff. But I don't think that she cheated whatsoever. Now, him posting the video saying uninvited to the function because the 30-year-old doesn't want the wife or whatever yelling at me. So he was alluding, I think, to Jesse in all of this because, again, I think what really went down is maybe Demi off camera had some real heart-to-hearts with Marciano, with like how hard marriage is, problems her and her husband have had, things like that. And maybe he saw like a little bit of an in there or like a crack, like, okay, things aren't so perfect. Like maybe you're saying I have a chance, right? Maybe thinking he could like sneak in because reality TV people are messy. Like there is cheating, there are scandals. Like maybe he thought he was going to have his own like Mom Talk scandal with her. But really, I think he ended up executing this plot with Jesse instead. Like, I don't think Demi took the bait. She never cheated. Nothing ever happened with them. But I do think that she got like weird vibes from him and probably reported to producers like, hey, like, I just don't want to be one-on-one with Marciano at all, when we're promoting the show or whatever. And I think Jesse, because we all know Sheena, right? Sheena gets her little grubby paws into every little friend group. Because I'm like, how are Marciano and Sheena friends? Maybe through Lisa, through Vanderpump Villa. They knew maybe Marciano started hanging out at like some of Lisa's establishments and he met Sheena. I'm not sure how Marciano and Sheena became friends. Well, either way, they end up somehow getting entangled with Jesse. Again, I don't know how Jesse and Sheena are friends. I think maybe Sheena had Jesse on her podcast, came to LA. Maybe they all met up. There were photos circulating of Jesse and them hanging out. I think Jesse cheated with Marciano. I do. I think Jesse actually liked Marciano. And I think that Jesse and her husband are actually having trouble and like real marriage issues. So we're all going to have to see this unfold. Season 2 of Mormon Wives, Secret Lives of Mormon Wives does premiere next. No, it's May. It's May now. Today's May 1st. So it's going to be like May 23rd or something that comes out. So we're going to be getting soon answers on what's going on with Mom Talk. But I don't know. I think that there's just, I think that there's something that happened with Demi and the producers, and that's why Marciano got disinvited from the function. But I think that he actually had drama with Jesse, and that's why Jesse's in the comments, Sheena's in the comments. Everybody's entangled in this scandal about someone cheating, something's being covered up, and we got to know, you guys. We've got to know the truth. We got to know. Remember on the Valley After Show when they were like, yeah, Sheena just like always knows everything and always has the tea. We're going to get a Sheena crossover. She's going to be on Mormon Wives. Remember when Vanderpump Rules ended and they were like, Sheena, what are you going to do? And she's like, maybe I'll convert to Mormonism and move to Utah so I can be on Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Way too good. That she might have said that on the episode with Jesse. So anyways, okay, I've got to stop recording. I've got to get going, but I hope this was a great episode for you guys. Stay tuned for more to come from me, and hope you all have a great weekend. Love you all. Ciao, Bellas.